In this exercise video, I'm going to show you how to do a quadruped rockback exercise with hip internal rotation. So quadruped meaning you're going to be on your hands and knees, and we're going to be adding in some hip rotation. This is great for getting some length and stretch through the back of the hip, as well as the back and deep pelvic floor area. This is great for releasing any tension in the hip or pelvic floor, as well as a technique for some birth prep, and also a technique you can use during labor and the birthing process. So you're going to start off by getting onto hands and knees. Now, first thing you got to do is get yourself wrists underneath shoulders, knees directly underneath hips, hands hip width apart, or hands shoulder width apart, knees hip width apart. And then we got to find a neutral spine position. So do a few cat-cows to find where that neutral is, and you want to stop in between, halfway in between the cat and the cow. So there should be just a tiny bit of a small curve in the lower back. We don't want to be totally here, that's not ideal. We've got to keep that small bit of curve that's natural in the lower back. So this is the first setup here, is getting everything lined up. Now we're going to keep our knees where they are on the ground, but pivot our feet out to the side. So if you've ever had kids, and we call this W sitting with the feet out and knees in, that's what we're looking for here. So knees stay where they are underneath the hips, feet just go out to the side. Now with that neutral spine position and some core engagement, you're gonna rock back till you feel like you can't rock back any farther without losing this neutral spine position. Hold, and then come back up. Rock back, hold, come back up. What we don't want to see is that as you come back, your back does this. That's not ideal. We also don't want to see your lower back arch further. So you gotta make sure that back stays neutral, and only go back as far as you can with that neutral spine position. When you're in the end range here, you might feel a little bit of a stretch in the back of the hip and the pelvic floor, or you just may feel like that it is not moving very far. You may not feel a specific stretch, and that's okay. What I want you to do is, after a few repetitions, try to get your feet a little bit wider apart. Do a few more repetitions, and feet wider apart. And do that a couple times until you feel like you're at your maximum amount of external rotation. Internal rotation. So knees in, feet out, that's internal rotation. This helps really open up that backside of the pelvic floor to allow for the birthing process if you're pregnant. So this is where it's really ideal to work on this mobility before you get into labor. So we can potentially use this as a laboring position as well as potential birthing position. So I'll show you from the front side here what that looks like. Hands and knees. Hands and knees, lining up, neutral spine. Knees stay exactly where they are, feet go out, and then rock back. Now, how far your legs are able to rotate is really dependent on your body. So my legs rotate out fairly far, but if yours only rotate out a slight bit, then that's okay. Just do what you're able to do comfortably without a lot of pain. And we don't want to be pushing into a lot of discomfort with this exercise. You want to try to get a little bit farther throughout the repetitions as you feel like things are loosening up. But you never want to be pushing so hard that your muscles are fighting it or guarding, or you're causing any pain.